Art students, Brian Proctor, the art teacher, back again with another drawing lesson. And this one took me about 4 months to do. No lie. It took about 4 months to do because just so many things were happening with the picture itself, not just outside of the picture. With the picture itself, and there was some stuff outside the picture, but there is a great lesson to be learned on top of this picture, because in between I showed you some good stuff like detail on the face and a lot of stuff on the body, and yeah, there's a lot to learn. So, and it's a long video, I'm not gonna lie to you, it's like about an hour, and well, you've seen it, you saw it in the thumbnail. It's a long video, but packed with some good information, some good drawing. So I don't want to make it any longer than it is already, so let's go ahead and get with the drawing. Our students, welcome back to another video. Let me put some of the junk out of the camera lens way so you won't see how junky this desk is. So, okay, I'm going to do another soldier. I think this is going to be, I don't know if I'm going to turn it into one of my animal characters or if it's just going to be a male face. So I'm going to get started. Then I want to go into kind of teacher mode to show you a couple things, because somebody asked me a question about how do I adjust the muscles when I draw, and I can't really figure that out, but I'm going to try to give you that answer as best I can. It may be wrong, but as best I can to what I think you asked. So this is going to be a closer drawing, and I'm not going to do the whole drawing right now. I'm just going to do a rough, show you guys how I do a rough, because I don't always start out drawing the torso open and so forth, especially if it's I'm doing like a comic book page, because I already know what I'm doing, so I don't have to draw like each piece. So this one is going to be more of a full page, and I know that I want the body twisted maybe a little higher because I want his head about right here. So shoulders are going to be down like that. I'm going to be around like here. I'm going to have one higher, one lower, and then we're going to have the bottom half, and then this, the torso. Come on, Brian, get this part right. And then the legs. So I'm going to put one leg and then maybe one leg in front, because it's going to be like he's walking towards you with a gun ready to do some damage. So this is how I do the quick rough. Okay, I have all my pieces here. I have my hips, I have my waist, and then I have my torso, and then I check it to make sure this is not too long compared to the rest, which could probably be. So I am going to bring this down. I'm gonna stop saying I'm going to bring this down, and then I'm going to stick the head here, and I'm just continuing to do this oval until I get that head about the size that I want, and I can adjust the shoulders. But remember that neck has got to come in there somewhere. It's got to be in play, which determines where the collarbone is going to be. So I want to bring it down a little bit more. It's kind of like he's stalking you, he's hunting you. And amongst my junk, oh, here it is, my junky table, where's my eraser? So once I have this part, see, now the more you go down with the head, the less shoulders you're going to see, the less neck you're going to see. And somebody asked me, why do I keep doing that? And it's basically to figure out the shape and the size that I want. So I'm going to bring this shoulder up here, somewhere around there. So now once I have that, and I can make that head just a little bigger maybe, or the body, yeah, maybe. Not too big. Once I have that, then I'll go and I'll try to kind of round things off a little bit. I'll say, here's the stomach. Remembering the guy is crouching down low. He's kind of stalking you. I'm going to put this one back here a little bit because he's going to be carrying a rifle. And some of it's going to go off the page, but that's okay because that's what I kind of wanted. And this one is going to be here. So if my neck is here, at that point of the neck, you're going to have those collarbones that's going to separate. One arm here, then this arm is going to be here right about, okay, so you have this, is that delt right here that's going to come around. And then this, and then this about right here. May take it down a little bit more, I don't know yet. And then I'm going to have, let's say, that hand is going to be about right here. So if I put a gun somewhere down here, as I say, I don't know if I turn it into my animal character, I'm going to use their weapon. If not, I'll figure out what kind of gun that I want. So this hand is going to be right hand. Now this hand could be a little further out. Let's work with this right here. So I'm going to have that one hand here. I'm going to have that arm going back. And then that bicep, tricep. Of course, this is going to go down more. But this is going to be dressed. This character is going to be dressed. So there's no need to put a lot of muscles into something that's going to be dressed. Which is going to cover all the muscles anyway, should I say. So the neck is going to be here. The face, he's going to actually be looking at you. So maybe I'll have it up. No, I don't want it up like somebody just stalked him. He's still going to have that face kind of down. And I'm going to put the hand here. If that's not too far away from this. Let's see. Kinda. That's why I brought that shoulder down a little bit. Well, I can keep it right here. Well, let's just do this. So if I brought this down to where I'm not too far out, because that collarbone has got to connect to that. The collarbone is always going to connect to the end of this ball here. So this is going to be like that because the bicep is going to be up. That could work, but I think he's kind of like choking up, not choking up on the gun, but a little too loose on the gun. So I'll keep it close. And that's one reason I'm trying to do these military things, so that I will have the right positions for my books when I start to draw them. They won't look like they have no idea how to hold a gun. So this is going to be here. And then the face. Maybe I'll put that head over a little bit more. The shoulder. Maybe I need to put that head up higher because it's too far down. Looking in the monitor, this is why I say always stop. Once you get everything right, stop, walk away, come back, then you'll be able to see better. Still, I want it down, but I don't want it too far down in his chest. Somewhere like this. As I say, clothes is going to cover that anyway. A little skinny little arm. Clothes is going to cover that anyway. And then hand. I can't draw the fingers because I don't have the gun yet. But I think that is going to do. So, two things I want to get into is faces. and then try to answer that question about the muscle adjustments. All right, so if I'm doing a head, I'm going to do my oval first of all. I'm going to split it down the middle, or however I want to turn it. Then I'm going to find my eye, whether it's going to be straight, it's going to be looking up, or looking down. So I'm going to make this guy look down just a little bit. And then from here, I do this. I just bring these lines in like this. Let me get another piece of paper and show you. Red or blue. I'll do my oval. Just make it darker. Center line. Do another one. Use that since that line is there. Then I find the eye, which is half, half, and half. Which you half of this, and then half of the other thing. That's how I used to go, which is still holds true. So halfway of that. Then, but what I do is I bring this down and this down like this. And that's going to be my chin. That is going to be as long as my chin is. As long as my chin is? Yeah, yeah. And then you have your nose, so that can be half of this here, and then half of this is where your mouth is. But if you use these guidelines, then you should pretty much come out right all the time. So now, if I continue this mouth all the way across, that is where I'm going to bring that jaw up. So what I'm going to do here is find a good writing pen. As I say, this is as long as my chin is going to be. Now at the end of this, I'm going to come up at an angle. Now where that mouth is, then I'm going to go up. I'm up at my little angle, and where that mouth is, I'm going to go up, because we all know that where your mouth is your jawbone. So this is going to be my mouth right here. Now you don't have to keep it in this line. You do not have to keep it in this line. I mean, the mouth, it depends on who you're drawing, what ethnicity, hard word, that you're drawing. You could be drawing an alien, you could be drawing a woman, but you know how big your mouth is. So your nose here, I'm just gonna do a little triangle. And you have this, I think it's a philtrum, this little piece there. So your nose is no higher than that. So you can adjust your nose to fit, but realistically it's no higher than that little piece there. So I'm going to bring it down just a little bit, Now from here straight up at the end of that, your nose is actually this wide. It's supposed to be this, really that wide, but again, you can draw however you choose. Then from here and here, your nose and your eye are supposed to be like the same size. So this is the center eye, and after this, you do that. And I take this center of the line and I put it right on top and one on the bottom. Now you can bring it in and adjust it, because every face is different. If that looks too long for you, then bring that in. If it looks too far apart for you, then bring those eyes in a little bit, because my line might be going out. You never know. Or that nose might be too big. So I'm going to bring part of it on the top, bring it in a little bit, and then the other half is on the bottom. And by doing this, you will have your, what was I going to say? Your kind of perfectly measured face. Now, right here, because this goes all the way across this. So right here, I usually come up like this, just right up there. And that's your temple. Because your head, you have this little turn piece. I don't know what we call that, a turn piece. Let's just say if this was flat, it starts to turn here. And then you have your hairline up in here. Like that. So if I ink this in some good fashion, and I'm going to make that nose just a little smaller, because, well, it's just got bigger. It's just got the same size. Like that. And then straight up, here's my eyes. And that depends on the type of eyes you tend to draw. But by keeping it on that line, you won't have one eye up and one eye down, which I always have that. To do, to add a little more realism to it, I always do this right here, this little piece right there, because that's like that fold in your eye. And then I put the eyebrow in there. And of course your eye, your light source, and the black. So here's your eye, your light source in the same part, and then your, I guess that's a pupil. Yeah, anyway, doing ink and messed up. So you know at the top of your eyebrow basically, and your bottom of your nose is where your ear goes. And then I've showed you the neck, depending on how strong you want the neck to be. Let me fix this eye because he looks like so sad. There you go. And you can do just a little bit of nose line because your nose, you have this ridge. And please don't draw the whole nose because it just kind of like, yeah, just throws it off. That's why you see women drawings that don't really have nose and you have this little flat piece that comes out, flat piece, this little ramp looking piece that comes out there and then it comes up here. And that always connects to the eyebrow because you have that brow that goes across here and it comes out here, the planes of your face, and I'll show you that in a second, but I want you to see me draw it so that you understand, and then I'll get back to my fast drawing. And then it's going to be your temple, it's going to be the head, and then wherever your hairline is going to be, or the part where it's going to slope and go back around. So as I say, you have your options to do your neck. If you're just a regular person, you do neck like that. If he's a teenager, if he is kind of muscular, goes to the gym all the time, you put that neck right there. And if he's like hulkish, then you make that neck even thicker. But I always, usually when I draw a superhero, dry throat again, I always have that neck lined up with the side of his jaw. So if I wanted somebody more superhero-ish, I will give him a thicker neck. So yeah, neck option is up to you. So we go on this side. I usually tend to draw more on that side. So again, center line. I will put my nose where I think my nose is going to be and my mouth just under that. And then you have your chin. So, and that's going to be in the, that's going to be center. You do this, and basically I wanted to show you this. Do this, and then that, because it's going to be right there on the side where your ear is going to be. But for this, what I would do is this, I'll come up and then go up like that. And that's kind of going to determine where I'm going to put this line. So right here, you're going to have this piece from, if my eye was here, you're going to have this come out, or yeah, out, and this come out, and then down to curve around like that. But you're going to have this come out because that's your brow was like right there. It's like right there, and then it kind of goes back here. But I try not, I don't draw the brow myself. I just, yeah, but it's there unless you're doing it from the side. And of course, wherever your eyebrow is going to be, it's going to curve around, down, and then start to shape that nose. You're always going to have that curve around. And what I do is, let me ink this. It's going to curve around. Sometimes I'll go all the way down with it. Sometimes I'll just stop depending on what character that I'm drawing. You have that to the nose, and then I will just give it a little bit of nostril, and then some of that coming around, and maybe not the other side, because your mouth is really shaped like this because of your teeth. You have that curve like that. So you're going to have this most cases. So you're going to have this comes out and this comes back out because of that cheekbone here that is round. So this is why that comes out, and then it goes back in, and you have your mouth. You're going to have this little piece, and that shapes your mouth. That's why you have that little V in your mouth, over top of your mouth. And this side is going to be longer. This side is going to be shorter. And because of that, so if I do this and come down, I'll get up just a little bit of lump there, and then there's my chin. And remember this, your eye comes up to this point here, and it goes there, and then you have your ear, and the back of your skull starts basically right just up underneath the ear. And you have that. So now with the eye going around to the side, I try to, depending on how much is turned, I make it more rounder. Like this one, I will do my normal eye like that, giving that little piece. But this one, because it's shorter, I'll make it, I'll make it more rounder. And of course, since I didn't put it on a line, it's higher. That's why you have the line, Brian, and I put it over the line. Okay, my bad. So yeah, because the more you turn it, the more rounder that's gonna eye's gonna get. And then you have your brow again. That's gonna, as I say, come down to the go into the nose, and then you have this, and it really starts like right there, and then you have your head, and then your neck is gonna come back here, and then somewhere down in here, because all this is your traps right up in here. You have these two muscles that go actually behind the ear, and the rest of that are your traps, and you have like this little open area here. Yeah, so that's, you know, and then some people might want to give it that little cheekbone to fill in that space. That's why you see a lot of people do like a lot of hatching just to kind of fill in that space. So I'll show you this. This is my little thing that I pulled off my wall. I had this on my wall for the longest time. And you can kind of see it goes here. It's the same thing. Now, for some reason, I've always done this long before these, before the internet, put it that way. You know, back in the day, I tried to figure out, I just looked at, you know, people's faces, and I always measured. I looked at the lines and said, okay, this connects here, this connects, and that's how I taught myself to draw, which, you know, was pretty much right, because, you know, as I grew up and I found all these reference things, I was like, oh, that does work. And some things I'm doing that was wrong that I quickly corrected. But same thing here. You have your oval, you have this that comes down here. This is as far as your chin goes. Your mouth connects to this. I don't know if you can see that line. I really don't want to put a marker on it and mess it up. And then, as I say, from here to here is your eye, and the same size as your nose. Eye is going to be on that line. As you come around here, you're going to have this dip in here. It comes out here, and then it comes around, and you see just a little bit of lump right there because your teeth are protruding or pushing against kind of like those gums, so it's going to jump out a little bit and go back in. And you have this little piece here, which is the philtrum, snot catcher that my grandmother used to say, because every time we were sick, we had snot just run down in that little area here. So yeah, and the same thing for the profile. I didn't do a profile. Your chin here, your nose at the bottom of the ear, and top of your eyebrows. Kind of, they say top of your eye. Some people say eyebrows. It's your ear. You do what you got to do. And yeah, I think that's kind of probably gonna be it for just this quick drawing of the heads. So let me answer this question about how do I adjust the muscles when I draw poses. Now, I still don't understand that part, but I would say the first thing you do, if you don't know how to do it, don't do it. Don't try to do it. I'm not great at drawing cityscapes, so I try not to do it. I mean, there may be time when you're going to have to do it, and you will have to learn the muscles eventually, but for now, I wouldn't super bulk my character up. I would just do a little bit at a time and just get examples. This is one of the first books that I did, my first actually drawing book that I did. And the difference between this and somebody looking at live is, if you know a good artist, you can actually see where the muscles actually come around and connect. Whereas if you have a live thing, like this is one of the books I bought a long time ago. I think it's like a series of 3 books. And they have a, I don't know if I took it out or not. They had a CD. Each one of them came with a CD, and it had all these other pictures on there. So this was pretty good, but you know, when you try to look at a live picture, you can't really see how all the muscles connect, but you can see certain, you know, you can see some of them, and you know, you go as best you can. So my thing would be, I would draw, and this has just a lot of, this was done for comics, and this is closed. I'm not gonna say unclothed because this is not like a nude thing, which is good for young kids, you know, but they put a lot of light on there to, you know, give the dramatics, which you can't really see the muscles that you want to draw. But I would just look at something that, like a bodybuilder magazine or something, and just draw what you see in the beginning until you get used to it. Because anytime you move, like I move my hand, it's going to change shape and size and so forth. Same thing with like biceps and triceps. Whenever you draw, if you draw a straight arm, let's just say here's my straight arm, like that. Here's my bicep and tricep, and here's the little arm muscle down in here. But when I make when I bend my arm, it's gonna be more like this. So you're gonna have that muscle that shrinks. So basically, how in the world does that go? I don't know, I lost that. This is the smallest muscle. You're gonna have this here and that there, because that goes to the elbow, and you have the two right there. So this goes to the chest. There you go, Brian. Remember how to draw. So yeah, it's kind of hard to answer that question, because I don't understand about the adjust the muscles. But when you move, your muscles are going to expand and get thicker or thinner sometimes. So you're just going to have to take one body part at a time, like an arm or something, and then just draw that in as many positions as possible. Where's the other guy at? Where's the older guy? Here he is. No, he's in the back. He is in the back, I think. It's the girl. There he is. Yeah, so, you know, just find as many different reference books as you can, including this one, Amazon, and then just draw pieces or draw the position you want, and then see if you can find some position that actually is close to that you want. But I think this little series of books has the it's geared for comics, put it that way. Whereas other books, like the one I showed that had really great muscles, and I'll show that again just in case you hadn't seen that video. You know, this stuff is geared to do comics, but it only has like this one pose, and this is why I came out with my 360 book, because you like, oh, I like that pose, but I don't want him this way. I want the camera behind him, seeing behind him, and that's why I came out with the 360 book, so you can see from multiple different angles. You know, like you see this guy with the, no, this is totally different position. Totally different position. But let me show you this book real quick. All right, so this is Strength Training Anatomy. And this, to me, this is the best book on muscles. But again, as I said before, this book is not about action. You won't see nobody flying or fighting. It's about building your muscle, but it also shows you how your muscles go and how they connect. So if you are somebody that wants to do muscles and has no idea how to do it, I would say, if you got this book, don't try to draw your superhero position and then throw a muscle on there. Draw what you see first. Draw these muscles until you get them right. Then you can go ahead and draw your action thing. But until then, I wouldn't try to, you know, muscle your man up or your female up until you understood, you know, how the muscles react. Because as I say, this is more for building your body. But you know your name of your muscles, you know how they connect, you know how they turn a little bit depending on the exercise that, you know, you do. But yeah, just draw what you see first over and over and over until you get used to the muscles, or just keep watching some of my videos until you get used to the muscles, and then you'll be able to draw whatever. So let's just say if I just drew, put your glasses on, thank you. If I just drew something, now usually if, I'm not gonna say if I don't know what I'm drawing, I'll start out with this. Start out by doing my little pieces. So let's just say this, and then this, and then however that hand is going to go. That thumb should be somewhere in here. So anyway, you know, I've totally forgot what I was going to say. There should be some waste in here. If you're drawing, draw your basic as best you can. Then add your basic muscles. You know how your chest goes. Unless you just like completely new, you just your first time on the bus, you won't know what to do with that. And then try to find, you know, something that's really similar to what you're doing, and then compare your muscles to their muscles, or just draw what they have. And that's the best thing to do, is just draw other people's stuff for now. Just keep on going with that, and then later on you should be able to add the muscles to it. It's a nice pose. I might do that later on in my another video. Who can say? Should that leg be back this way? Yeah, who can say? Anyway, yeah. All right, so, and of course you got the face. I showed you the face. Find that center line, your eyes, your nose, your mouth, your chin. Then, you know, once you get your mouth there, you'll know where it turns up at. You should know where the side of your face is. Turn that, do this, and then come up. You got your guideline for your eyes, your nose, depends on how much nose you want to do. And then the skull goes behind the ear. And then of course the neck is going to be here somewhere if you see the neck. So yeah. All right, back to drawing. And it's going to be a fast motion drawing. So with all my drawings, I think I want to just, as I say, go into teacher mode in the beginning. Maybe start the picture, go into teacher mode, and then go back to my drawing, because if this is a soldier, are you blurring on my camera? He's got to have gear, and I have no idea what type of gear I'm going to put on him. I don't know if it's going to be, I'm thinking about doing the lion soldier, animal soldier, the lion. I don't know. We'll see. So from this point on, I'm going to go fast motion and see what we get. First, I'm going to sit back and I'm going to think what I'm going to do with this, and then I'm going to fast motion, and then we'll see what we get. So there's no need for me to even draw a face. If I'm going to put the lion's face on here, so why are you drawing the face? I don't know. So yeah, all right, fast motion after the break. All right, so we're at a stopping point right now. I kept looking at this thing and I wasn't happy. I really wasn't happy with it. The position, I mean, you know, the gear and stuff, I'm still working on that. So off camera, I said, let me work with that position again. So I started sketching this to give him more of a lean into that position. And I said, that's kind of close. It's better than this. But I still couldn't figure out what was wrong with this. So I kept going with that one. And I'm like, it's closer. Because I wanted to give him that lean like he's kind of hunting. He's kind of like crouching down almost like, getting ready to get down in the tall bush. But there was still something that was not right with that. So I looked at it and looked at it, and I redid it, and I figured out what was wrong. So that one, I ended up having to do the block instead of doing the thing. And what it was, I did not pull his center line in. You can see right here, his center line is going out, and this one is still going out. But with this one, I pulled it in to give him more of that lean that I kind of wanted. Now, I can bring the head down on this. I like the way the head is down on that. But I want to continue with this one right here because I'm more pleased with this position than I am with that position. Now you say, oh, that good detail. I can redo all of that. I was trying to figure out what to do with the helmet. I may look for some reference and do a better helmet. But we're going to work with this because I like the position. So as I say, when you start something, don't spend like an hour trying to get your detail first. Get your position down right. That way, if something doesn't come out right, you don't feel bad about throwing it away. I probably won't throw this away. I'll do something else with it, or maybe finish it later. But this is the position I'm gonna go with so far. This one has too much pencil in it, and it's just it's not quite there. But so from this point on, we're gonna redo with this guy. Maybe use some portions of that. Maybe not. We'll see. But from now on, here we go with this guy. All right. So it is going to be another day because I'm gonna end it right here and start tomorrow because it is late because I was doing a lot of stuff in between. So yeah, always turn your paper or walk away from your drawing, come back later, and you'll see if it's right, if it's wrong, you're happy or you're not. So all right. Break for me, second for you. All right, so I am back after about 5 days. I have returned to this picture. So let's get along. Let's get along. Let's get on. All right, so corrections. You have the neck. Wherever this is, you have that neck. It's going to go here, and then this has to go to the delt, to the center of that delt, depending on the angle. Now, the bad part about drawing square is the body's not square, so you're going to have to round it off. You're going to have to round it off, period. So, like this. Let's use this pencil. As I say, usually when I draw someone leaning over, I kind of like to use the shoulder pad kind of method where I'm just doing this whole one solid piece that goes around here. Kind of like football, if you know football. But the thing is, where's my delt? I'm going to cover this with clothes. So it's going to go like this. It's going to be in the center of that delt because that delt curves around like this. Get it on one piece of paper. Those traps, it comes around like this. That neck comes down and into that center point. This comes from around the back. So of course this is going to be round. And then you have your chest round. And you suck your stomach in. Depending on the the shape of your character. So this is going to be round, and this is going to be round. And I know I just said I'm going to cover it with clothes, but still, I want to make sure this is right. Because I've got this side is going way back here, so this has got to come because, where is it? What is it? At the base of the chest, usually it's like right here. This would be like right here, and then the delts. At the base that's where that other part of the abs go down. Like that. He's kind of flat, but you know, I'm not going to bulk him up because, as I said, I'm going to dress him. So this, I'll make sure that this is round, and then turn this hand this way, or the palm that way. No eraser. And then eventually I will turn this into a speed drawing, because if you're holding a gun, this part which comes out, well, about the hand, this is flat. This is basically flat. This part comes out at the thumb. It took me a long time to actually realize that, and I have two hands. So when you hold something or you're going to aim it, this part is going to come straight down like that. So you're going to have this part flat. So that just kind of helps you when you draw. So that thumb part is going to come out. This part is going to go here, and we're going to have those fingers come up. Can you see that? Because I can't see that. Those fingers are going to come up and curve around like this. And that thumb is going to be however that thumb is holding that gun. These are going to be your fingers, just for, you know, just a rough. And then I have to turn this gun right. Ruler. Of course, the hand's not going to stay like that, but it was just a something example. And the hard part for me is what type of gun. So this is this is this. This is going to go down. This is going to go down as well. And I like these rulers because they roll versus a flat ruler. Let's use this piece of wooden flat ruler. Here, if I put it here, I'd have to drag it down and my hand might like curve a little bit so I won't get that line straight. But with these things, they have these wheels under the bottom so you can put it on your edge and drag it, and it should stay, unless you twist it, it should stay even. I don't know what these are called, but they're on Amazon. I'm about to order 2 more. It's a 2-pack for like $9. You know, I don't need 2, but I mean, you know, I might get mad and throw it at a bug or something, and I have a spare. So, as I say, this palm is going to hold this, and these fingers are going to come up one at a time and hold the gun. So the thumb is going to probably be somewhere on this side. This is the bottom of my gun. So we'll probably get that small finger. This one is going to be a little higher. I think they go higher. I don't know if they go higher to low, but yeah. You got to get some fingers off of the gun as well. Some part of the finger off the gun. And I have to adjust that because I can't see that. There's so much pencil and so much glare that I'm gonna probably have to move those fingers up more. So anyway, that's basically what I'm going to tell you about this. Is you drawing the body square, you're going to have to round it off anyway. So why not keep it round? But that was just one of those things that I couldn't see. It just knew something was wrong and I couldn't figure it out. So I said, let me go way, 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 way back to the prehistoric days of drawing and draw it square. So this is this. This goes in. This finger is already there. So yeah. And like I said, the hard part is trying to figure out, that head got a little big, trying to figure out what to put on him. What to put on him. Let's see if I can bring that head down a little bit and then make it a little smaller. I have to shift that over because this has got to be in the center. So it's no ifs, ands, or buts about once you get the puzzle pieces right, once you know, there's no way you can there's no way you can cheat. You just gotta put it where the pieces fit. So as I said, the base of that neck the base of that the base of that neck comes here, and there's that little hole right there for your neck to fit, and then your head on top. Now, depending on how much I want to drop my head, let's switch to blue. Too much red. Drop that head into that shoulder and not be something, not be too small. All right, I'm gonna sit here and talk to you guys forever. Fast motion, fast motion. All right, so I am back. I don't know where I left off because I have literally been sitting on this thing for about 2 months now. I started to draw this, and I wanted it to be some masterpiece of, let me adjust my camera a little bit. I wanted this thing to be some masterpiece of military, you know, confection, but for some reason something just kept messing up because I redrew this 3 times, and I think I might have showed you these, you know, because I didn't like this one and I sketched it, and then I said, okay, that was good, and I didn't like it, and I sketched this one and I did like it. So as I say, I was sitting on this, it's been on my table amongst my other unfinished drawings for about 2 months at least, maybe more. So I picked it up and I'm like, let's just finish this thing. So I'm looking at it and I'm seeing all the things that, you know, I did wrong. And one, I said earlier, I always do my delts. For some reason, I do like small delts. The delt should be lined up, almost lined up with the chest, because they are one piece. So my delts are a little smaller or shorter than they should be. But I'm gonna fast motion this in a minute. This needs to be more round because he's leaning down, and it doesn't really make a difference. And I think that was the thing, because I'm gonna fully clothe this guy. So I'm saying it doesn't make a difference because he's gonna be geared and, you know, arraigned in garments. And this is like way down, the crotch is like way down here, and I readjusted that. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna fast motion this, which made that, I'm jumping back, which made this so long. And you know, sometimes when you kind of know something's wrong with your drawing, you have to put it down, put it up, and then just come back later, even if it just take a couple months. So I'm gonna fast motion this and draw this, and I'm just gonna have fun. That's another thing I tell people: have fun when you're drawing. And initially, I was gonna put them like in some tall grass and some water, so that's why I didn't want to draw the legs, because I wanted to draw a big picture. But as you see, it got smaller and smaller and smaller, and it's gonna get smaller still because I'm raising his legs up. I'm raising the hip up, and which means you're gonna see more leg. But it's weird because I said it before, I tend to draw the same size all my pictures. I don't know why. I can pull out a number of pictures and it would pretty much be the same size. It's just habit. Break that habit, Brian. Break that habit. So this is going to be here. The crotch is going to be here. You have the rib cage. You have the love handles here. You have the crotch that comes here. So you're going to have a leg, room for that crotch. So one leg is going to be here. And I can kind of feel how long I need my legs when I'm really concentrating there. And then I think this other one's going to be kind of like he's got that forward motion step. So it's going to be higher at the knee, because this is going to be back. And then this one's going to be almost straight. almost he's stepping. I may still put him in the water or something. And then this is going to be here. That knee is probably going to be about here. And he's going to be kind of stepping back. I'm not trying to draw no superheroes. I don't want them to be, you know, all super bulky thick. Because the gear is going to take care of that. And if I'm drawing the feet would be back. And there's my red. Even now, I shouldn't be trying to perfect. But it's good when you know you do have the body right. I mean, that's the best thing. So don't get me wrong there. When you have the body right, then there's less for you to worry about. Crotch, and then this one comes back. So yeah, he's because I wanted him to be crouching down on kind of like having that sneaking position, and I think what it was is I always had the legs too far apart, so that he's not having that. He's crouching here. I liked it that one, but the legs were still too far apart. So now that I have the legs closer together, it kind of looks like he's kind of stalking, moving up on you. The arm was getting a little long, but I'm going to kind of leave that. Maybe just put some gear on his arm. Just give me a reason for that. Like I say, this needed to be rounder, but it's going to be wrapped with stuff. But even at that, when you wrap something around it, a belt or something around it, it has to be round. And why is it so dark in this room? The neck, let's see, when I do pencil, it gets that blur, so forgive this light, because I need it to offset the blur of the actual pencil. So the neck is going to come down like this. Your trap's it comes up and it goes around the back of your neck and goes down into your, basically kind of like forms your delt, because that bone, the muscles on this bone right here, this collarbone, and then you have the other trap, which is on the other side of that bone, but they kind of like almost go together. And I don't know why I'm doing that, because I'm going to cover it up anyway, but I guess it's an art lesson. So I'm going to have him down, looking down a little bit. And that was a problem in the first place. I should have just dressed the guy and kept on going, but not looking down that much. But something I just lost that. It was valuable information. But I don't know. I said I should have dressed him in the first place, but I don't know. I think I wanted the body. Get that body right. Just habit from drawing so much of the body. Since his head is going down, you're going to see more of the skull, which is probably going to put a helmet on him anyway. So because the ear is going to be up higher, because he's tilted, which I'm going to put a helmet on him anyway. But just for the sake of knowledge, when you look down, your ears go higher. When you look up, your ears are lower, down on your chin, down on your jawbone. Touch my jawbone, like y'all can see that. Probably gonna put glasses on him, or some kind of glasses on him, so I don't have to worry about a face. Still good to have a face there in the right proportion. This is off. One is off. One is not. Got your neck. It's going to come round, down, and around. So let's dress this guy. I ran out of colors. I could try to ink it, but then that'll screw it up. So let's not. Let's just put some gear on this cat. All right, so I have a rough idea of the gear that's on them. I couldn't tell you exactly what it is, but I just threw some gear on them. So let's see what happens when I ink it. Maybe I can bring it out, define it a little bit more, maybe add some more or take some stuff away, but we will see when I ink it, and hopefully the rifle will come out. I have to ruler it. Hopefully it'll come out to where it looks halfway decent like a rifle. So yeah, let us grab a ruler, an ink pen, and we'll go back to fast motion. And I always use 005, not necessarily the micron, but my, where's it at? Ran out. Now, Faber-Castell, usually this is the one this is kind of like my go-to pens, but zoom in the camera. Yeah. And I'll go extra small, extra slim, extra whatever the XS stands for. But since these guys kind of running out on me, they kind of running out. I don't want to open up a new one. I'll go to this guy, but the nibs kind of like get really small on you, and you have no really tip on there. So that's when you tell it's getting, small, or it's not gonna write. But I have a bunch of them, plus some new ones that I haven't picked open yet. So I always choose one, and if it doesn't write, I throw it to the side. Instead of throwing it away, I'll kind of throw it to the side. So I'm gonna have to use my light again, because anytime I use a regular pencil, the glare is so bright that I can't really see it. So I'm going back to my light. Sorry. have it. This is my finished piece. I am going to go back and put a little line weight in it. I just probably just going to cut it and then put the line weight in it. I'm not going to do too much inking like a professional inker could have a really good time in here doing the black in the bushes and the black between the trees and maybe the canvas, is it the canvas or canopy that would be up here. So yeah, I'm not gonna let you guys see it. I'm just gonna cut it because I know this video it was probably a long one. I don't know yet. I haven't got into editing yet, but I'm sure it is, especially with me still drawing and then rambling and so forth. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and cut this and ink this. So I'll be right back in a second, which is probably a lie. It'll probably be tomorrow, but yeah. And then figure out what I'm gonna do with add a little more shadow to it. Add some shadow to it. I'm not a big inker. Let's put it that way. Pause for a second. And I can put a whole lot of shadow in it, but I might not like it. And all this time of doing this drawing would be wasted. And I need to do the Picatinny rail up on the top. So, and some openings on the side. So yeah, a little more work to be done. But then, like I said, I'll be back and I'll show you. I'll try to throw some shadow in there. Not in the back, but just in here. All right, let's go. Okay, back again after about 2 weeks. So this is the final product, and you might say, why does it take so long to do that one drawing? And it's because I'm doing so many other projects, in between this one and on top of this one and on the bottom of that one. And it just took me forever. So I could ink it a little bit more, add a little more ink to it, but I'm not going to because it'll be even more time longer. So I think I've covered everything I needed to cover on this. So I will let this one go, and then hopefully you did learn something over the months of me drawing this thing. So enough about this. Let's kick this bad boy to the curb and let's get on to the next one. And I will see you guys in the next video. Keep drawing. Yeah.